What's up, YouTube? Pretty cool little video for you today. Got a kind of a battle showdown comparison video, part of the Showdown series I've been trying to get going here with a couple of pretty legendary, I guess, classic EDC knives in the community. Some people are one way, some people are the other, some people like both. I like both of these knives. I did reviews on each of them and they're both pretty good knives, but thought I'd do a little kind of like a little comparison between the two. If you like my content, hit the like button, subscribe right down there if you want more of it. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks to all my supporters, channel members, subscribers, everybody else. And without further ado, let's take them out. This is the Hogue Ritter RSK MK1, and this one is the Benchmade Griptilian. This one in particular is, let's see if we can get, if I get it close up enough there. Melvin Pardue design on this one, and it's kind of faded, guys, sorry about that. 550, this is actually the 550 HG. So very similar designs, pretty much, you know, very similar designs. I won't go into the whole history of it because I don't really know the entire history of these two knives. I know that Hogue Ritter at one point worked for Benchmade, and I know that these are made by Hogue. You know, Hogue puts them out with Hogue Ritter, and it is a USA made knife and a KnifeWorks exclusive. That's the only place you can get this one. This one made by Benchmade, the Griptilian. You can get this one in several different places. Also, this is obviously a different blade shape and opening method, so you don't have the thumb stud here like you do with the Ritter Hogue. We'll just call that one the Ritter Hogue. That's what everybody calls it, I think. But you've got the opening hole, and also you've got the sheep's foot blade shape, whereas you got the drop point on this. Now the Griptilian does also come in the drop point blade shape. So overall comparison, I want to get the straight edge out on this one, and let's see, I should have had that ready. Now make sure they're perfectly lined up, because I think these two are almost identical as far as overall length goes. Maybe pretty close. Yep, pretty close. Yeah, they are, for all intents and purposes, identical as far as overall length goes. If you look at your cutting edge, they're almost identical. The grip on both of them, there's the movie title, the Griptilian. The grip on both of them essentially is almost the same. A little bit of a difference there. We'll talk about that here in just a second. We'll go ahead and do brief specs on both of them, because I have reviewed both of these knives, and but we'll just go ahead and, for the sake of the showdown video here, do a brief little measurement. You got 8 1/8 on the Ritter Hogue. You've got right under 8 1/8, so maybe the Griptilian a hair smaller. And also, again, bear in mind that is the sheep's foot blade shape, so might be a little bit different with if you get the drop point in the Griptilian. But overall, you're looking just a hair over 8 inches, so really close there. And we'll do the cutting edge measurement. Even though we did the comparison, you're looking at just under 3 1/2, right at 3 3/8 on the cutting edge on the Griptilian, the sheep's foot version, and right at 3, just over 3 3/8 on the maybe right at 3 3/8. So pretty similar on cutting edge. Let's do blade stock thickness. We'll do it on both of them. All right, so your blade stock thickness on the Benchmade Griptilian, 122 thousandths. Behind the edge, you're sitting at behind the edge, you are sitting at right at 27 thousandths. 617 thousandths handle thickness. do handle thickness on this one first. Pretty close, 621 on the handle thickness on that one. And on this one, should have done them back to back, right? On this one, 129 thousandths blade stock thickness. I can't rewind the video, so 122. So a little bit thicker on the Ritter Hogue, not much though. And behind the edge, you're sitting at 29 thousandths. So it was 27 thousandths on that one, I believe. So a little bit thicker behind the edge, not too much. Not extremely noticeable, really. Alright, so got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and we'll do some familiar modern day folders for comparisons. There's your Spyderco PM2 compared to both of them. There is your Cold Steel Knives 8010 compared to both of them. Demco Knives 8020.5 slicer version here compared to both of them. Another classic Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 compared to both of them. Alright, I think that'll do it for size comparisons, but I mean, here's your Ritter Hogue compared to your Benchmade Griptilian. That's a joke, y'all chill out. Alright, next up, we'll do a weight. I think the Griptilian's actually going to win this one, I believe. The way it feels, does feel a little lighter. These are polymer FRN scales on the Griptilian. They actually feel really nice. Probably, in my opinion, the nicest FRN scales as far as feeling goes of any FRN I've felt. So 3.8 ounces, 4.5, so a little bit heavier. Yeah, 4.5, 3.8. So the Griptilian would win as far as weight goes. If you're looking for a lighter weight knife, the Ritter Hogue is a little heavier with that G10. Does have that G10, doesn't have the cutout hole, and has thumb studs, so I guess that would all explain the weight, maybe. Looking on the inside of that, no milling on the inside of the Ritter Hogue. Benchmade Griptilian, I mean, you got a little, some cutout inside of the FRN in there. I don't think that makes too big of a difference, but looks like they did that for a little bit of weight reduction there. All right, go ahead and see what they look like in pocket. Now, this one does have a Lynch Northwest deep carry clip, so bear that in mind. Whenever you look at it in pocket, it's going to totally disappear. That is not the original clip. So kind of a pointless comparison, I guess. But you can get a deep carry pocket clip for the Ritter Hogue, but I mean, it is essentially deep carry there, right? I think the only way you could get a deeper carry pocket clip for the Ritter Hogue is if you eliminate the placement of the lanyard hole, or cover that up, which is a little bit different. If you're a lanyard person, maybe you'd prefer the Griptilian over the Ritter Hogue, or vice versa. I don't know. You could get a deep carry clip for the Griptilian and still have access to your lanyard hole right there. If you use the same deep carry clip for Hogue, it's going to be sticking out a little more, but you'll have access up top to your lanyard hole. And if you get a deeper carry clip, it's probably going to cover up that lanyard hole. So a little bit different placement of the lanyard hole there. These are both American made knives. So that is a factor, or is not a factor, I guess, right? Because they're both made in the same country. They're both made here in the US of A. All right, let's check the, I think that's going to be a T6, I believe, on your, go ahead and put that back. I think you got a T6 going on here. Yep, T6 on the body screw, on one of the body screws, one of the only body screws right there on the Griptilian. I think this one, maybe it's not Torx, I don't know. I thought that was Torx bit, maybe not. Body screw on this side, T6, T6 here, T6 here. So definitely keep that in mind with this one. You've got T6s screwing into FRN, so be careful when you're if you're doing disassembly on that. I think these, I believe all of these are yeah. Forgot from whenever I did the original reviews of them. It's been a pretty good while since I've done that. But let's go ahead and I'll finish hardware checking the Griptilian, which that's a single-sided captive pivot, so that's good. Yeah, okay, so that's T8. You got T8 going on here with the Griptilian with a single-sided captive pivot, so that's a good thing. Single-sided captive pivot also on your Ritter Hogue, which is also a T8, and your body screws are T8, T8, T8. So let me double check that real quick. I'm thinking maybe not, might be wrong. Nope, that's a T10, T10 on the pivot, and I'll double check this one too. Might be wrong on it. I don't know why I was thinking that. Yeah, T10 on your pivot, T10 on your pivot. So that's a good thing on both of them. Single-sided captive T10 pivot, pretty awesome there. So you'll need a T10 bit and a T8 to disassemble the Ritter Hogue. And T8 on the clip as well. And if you want to take the thumb studs off on the Ritter Hogue, you can. So that's pretty cool. Got a T6. Now I don't know about the thumb studded version of the Griptilian. I don't know if you can remove them or not, because I don't have that. I've got the 550, which is the sheep's foot version of it with the Spidey hole, which I don't know for sure, but from what I heard, they had to get Spyderco's permission to do that. I don't know about that. Let me know in the comments. Hey, if you guys are watching this video and you know more info between these two than I do, definitely welcome that down in the comments. I love that kind of history of knives, knife lore. That's kind of what, you know, one of the aspects I like to bring to, you know, this kind of little series. You know, it's good to learn, and I love learning all the time, and you guys constantly keep me in check and definitely inform me whenever I'm messing up, and I appreciate that. But seriously, if you guys want to inform me on anything with these two knives, let me know down in the comments. So that's pretty much it as far as specifications go. Looking at both of them, they both have pretty good action. This one actually might need to tighten that back up. Is that tight? Yeah. So the Ritter Hogue is and I have used the Ritter Hogue a good bit too. It does have a secondary edge on it, right? Because I've sharpened this thing and it is screaming sharp. But the action on the Ritter Hogue just a little bit tighter than the action on the Griptilian. Seems a little more, I don't know, when you pick up, I don't know how to describe it, but when you pick up the Griptilian, this version, and you pick up the Ritter Hogue, this version, which is, they don't have as many versions of this one as they do this one. The Ritter Hogue just feels, you know, it's a little stockier, feels a little more, I guess you'd say maybe premium, I don't know. One advantage that I like with this clamshell, I guess you can call it clamshell, you've got open back on this one, on the Ritter Hogue, the RSK MK1, but on the Benchmade Griptilian, this is closed in, which that's awesome for keeping your dirt and debris out, you know, helps out a lot. But yeah, this one not milled out for weight reduction either, as I said earlier. Now, as far as the grip goes on both of these, the ergonomics, which is one of the things that this knife's all about, right? Gripping it, choke back seems to be more where it's at with them. You can put your finger here and do kind of like a trigger pull grip. Does have some jimping up top, so either way you've got that, you know, and that's pretty comfortable too. But to me, if I'm cutting with this one, choke back is my #1 go-to, and you can choke up on it a little bit if you need to. With this one, essentially the same way. You can kind of put that first knuckle right there and trigger pull it, and it does have the jimp in there also. And the grip is pretty solid. I mean, this thing's not going anywhere when it's in your hand. So aesthetically wise, I mean, I would say the Ritter Hogue would be the winner, you know, because I do like that sunburst pattern. You know, I think that looks pretty cool. It definitely feels pretty nice, and yeah, just aesthetic overall. The drop point and with the thumb studs kind of looks a little better than that one. This one looks more awkward. But as far as usage goes, and I would have to say between these two, if you made it this far in the video, let me know your opinion on it. I'm sure some people will disagree, but that's what it's all about. This is gonna have to be the winner for me. I would pick this one over this one. The price is another factor that the Benchmade, and I know this isn't said too often nowadays, but the Benchmade does beat out this one as far as the price goes. So these running around 180 or so, 189 up to 210, around that, depending on what options you go with. But the standard version of this now, instead of 20 CV, is in Magna Cut. So, you know, that is something to keep in mind. The standard version of this one is in SPM or CPM S30V. This one in particular, being an older one, is in 154 CM. So this is like one of the really old ones. You can see right there, you know. Yeah, but they've got this little contouring right up underneath right there. This does not have that little bit of a, whatever you want to call that. As far as while you're gripping it, going back and forth, moving it around, doesn't seem to make too much of a difference, but that little bit of jimping is definitely there. So not really much of a factor there. But yeah, as far as a work knife, I don't know, it's pretty close. They're both excellent knives. They both have excellent action, made in the USA by awesome companies, so it's pretty close. One of the advantages I think that the Griptilian has, or one cool thing about it, I guess, this is just inner kid in me, but whenever you actuate it, when you flip it open, it's got that thwack. So it's definitely got a, it's got a noise to it, right? Whenever it opens, more acoustic. Now this one's got a noise too, but it's not, you know, it doesn't have the advantage of that closed in back and the FRN kind of echo, and I think is what causes that noise. So yeah, between the two, if I had to pick one, if I didn't have either of these knives and I went to KnifeWorks website right now and was looking at these for $189.99, and I was looking at these for $139.99 on BladeHQ, I would probably go with this one, and I'd be happy with it if I had to choose one of the two. Now, I am happy to be able to say that I have both of these. They're both great knives, but if I had to pick one, it would probably have to be the Griptilian. It is a go-to work knife of mine, an awesome knife. The Ritter Hogue, also an awesome knife, awesome work knife, good hard use knife, you know. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you know about the history of, you know, of these two between Ritter Hogue. I know this is Melvin Pardue design, but Benchmade, Doug Ritter did work for Benchmade, did have some things to do with it. So yeah, let me know all about that in the comments. Let me know which one you would pick, this one or this one. If you don't pick the one I pick, I definitely understand that. That's an excellent knife too. So appreciate everybody watching. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe right down there if you want more of the content. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a good evening, day, weekend, night, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you on the next one.